Hey, how you going? This is Chris again. How you doing? What I'm going to do now is, well, drink some Lucozade. Right, now what I'm going to do, because I can't smoke fags and drink pop as much as I used to. Certainly can't just smoke the fags anyway. So, cigarettes, by the way, if anyone who's in British. Well, it could mean something else. Maybe I'm just coming out all secretly like, who knows. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I want to take this piece here. See it? Yes, I do. Good, good, good. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to be a cunning wee devil. So, if I go to my scale tool, hold shift, and I'm going to make a copy of it. It's wider, like that. Click OK. Now if I have a look at that, I don't like the shape of it, so I'm going to expand it all rather than just a bit of it. So I'll just... Here we are, look, I've got select and squash, I don't want that, I want just select. And I'm going to expand it to about there, you see? Not too far, so that should do it. Okay, and click OK. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, 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 and that. And I'm going to hide everything else. Because what I need to do at the minute is I need to make basically a kind of a mounting area for pistons that are going to have more control over, or at least the appearance of more control over how this piece is going to work. Okay, but one of the problems is these, you see here and here. So what I would like to do is take tube 1, Control V, and duplicate it to tube 2. Then I'd like to take this one, go to my compounds, Boolean, and then I'm going to start picking tube 2. There we go, end start picking. Right click out, convert to editable polygon. Obviously that'll clean my model up. And then unhide all, and then isolate this selection. And as you can see, it's created this rather fascinating little thing here, isn't it? But I can delete these, and that's what I need. Okay, because that's the important part. Now, for these end parts over here, where these are, with these weird little things, let's have a look around our model and make sure we don't have any undue weirdness. To be honest, that isn't bad. That isn't horrible. It's, well, it could be a lot better, but it isn't as bad as I thought it might be. So I think what I can do probably is get rid of some of the excessive parts of things that we don't need in the top here. And if I just use my select tool for this, I can just literally just come through and do this. My top view and zoom. And I only need to do one of these, remember? That's another good point. So there we go. I mean, this is going to be part 9 of the tutorial, it would appear. So we're making good progress. I've said this before, and I will say it again. Go away, insect. I've also said that before, and will say it again. The foot is always the hardest and most complicated part of any mech. Okay, and that includes weapon arrays and all sorts of things. So once we have the foot stable looking, then most of our job, or at least most of the hard part of our job, is definitely done. Because after that, it's just a case of hanging things off it, isn't it? So let's go around our model and just make sure that we've got the bits we need. There we go. Now just going to go around it. There are quite a few strange little breaks in this model that I'm going to have to preserve. So go around it all. There's some there, you see. And then select those. Okay. By the way, what are you listening to? I hope it's something decent. I do insist that all students listen to something decent while they work. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on this again. There's a few parts here, as you can see, that are in avid need of being rescued. So let's have a look. That needs a cut. There to there. Let's wait for autosave. There we are. Now what I can do is grab this edge, and if you look, I believe they're actually connecting to a dead vert. So I'll do a control and backspace, and there they are there, look. 1, 2, control backspace. Now they're gone. As you see, there's a few of these fellas around, so you can either select them manually, like this, or in the selection tool, it does actually allow you to select by, I think, number of things what are connected to it. I can't remember because it's been a while since I've done it that way. Maybe our edges, so less than 4 edges. You see, so you got this, and then I click that. There we go. So if it's got less than 3 edges now, it's selected it, and then I can do a control backspace, and that gets rid of them. Okay, now again, needs a cut. I don't have to worry about making it, you know, all drastic and awesome and stuff. I can just do that. Now come through here and check, because look, there's loads of bits here that I need to target weld. That's the problem with chamfer. It's done us a solid, but in exchange we have to do some work. So that's what we are going to do. Those two selected, backspace. Checking polys, can't see any excess ones there, so that's nice. Now I need to select that polygon there and zoom. Now as you can see, that polygon there is just what we call in the trade a crap poly, so we may as well fix our crap poly. Put that there, and then I can just grab that and move that to there. There we go. Doesn't change the angle too much either, so that's a bonus. Now over here for more crap polys. Go around and fix all of them, and don't move the ones that make the shape of the curve, move the other ones. Now cut tool, see that? That goes to there, and that means I can now take out this one. Again, control backspace and just turn on verts just to make sure there isn't one underneath it. Okay, now let's go down this side, because there's probably some crap polys to repair here as well. And what I said, move the ones here to the ones on the outside, not vice versa. That way we will maintain our shape, otherwise we shall not. And don't feel overly concerned if you find that there's kind of a stray vert just sitting here doing nothing. It shouldn't really upset you or worry you in any particular manner anyway. Now, over here. It's funny, you see, the years of having to get completely even looking tries and stuff. That's cool if you're doing organics. We're not doing organics. Squishy sock puppets full of sausages, that's for other people, man. We're doing cool stuff. There we go. By the way, if you're wondering how I knew there was a vert there, well, I'd already seen it. It had vanished when I moved one of the pieces, but then it sprang back again. So, right, see that one? That was an extraneous as well, so we'll get rid of that. And then we've got space for a cut, so may as well have one. There. There's some cleanup that I do simply because I just can't abide certain messy situations. There we go, and get rid of that. Right. So, nearly 10 minutes in, and we now have this shape. And oh, there's a dog barking. Bloody marvellous. Right, so I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing a little bit of bridging. So, well, that's the dog made content, I think. It's only a tiny little thing, but she has to take steroids, so she's always filled with dog rage. Right then, I'm going to use the bridge tool. So that's going to go from here to here. Go to there. And there. Now I could cap out the entire middle, you see, but doing it this way, to be honest, it looks nicer. And it tends to be more flat. We don't get as many artifacts if we do it this way, so that's one of the reasons we do it. There we go. And as you can see, you can cross them a number of ways. So. Okay, Control A just to get all the spaces, and then capped. Okay, that's cool. And now over here, where these edges are, I don't know if I'm going to be able to select these by double clicking. No, I didn't think so. Damn it, I was kind of hoping, but never mind. A couple of options here, I suppose. I could bevel them manually or whatever. Let's see how tightly they fit first. So end isolate. Got this part selected, and it is literally connecting to the piece. Okay, well in that case I'm not too concerned about chamfering that edge in, to be honest. Let's see, I'll isolate this again and have a quick look at my modelling tools. Yeah, I can't even get a loop on it, look. I can get loops on these, but I can't get loops on these parts. Thing is, I'm reluctant, you see, to kind of come across and not chamfer these, so I think I'm going to have to do it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is double click and, you know, see if I can make that work wherever I can. Doubt I'm going to be able to make it work very much, but at least there's not many. Just go around the outside. Now, and this is another good reason why we kind of cleaned up our chamfers as much as we possibly could, because obviously if we have a load of duff verts sitting here, then when we chamfer this, those verts are going to make new edges and polygons, and it does get messy. So, right, just check everything looks okay except for that. Okay then, so if I go into my chamfer tool, and you can see straight away it's like, ooh, that's horrible, but that's okay. We're just making a little one, and you can see that edge there isn't particularly stable either. You don't want to create a massive chamfer, and I'm curious to see if a box chamfer does slightly better or not. These shouldn't be selected. Ah, good, they weren't. Right, okay, that explains nothing. Yeah, let's soften the edge a bit. Okay, we'll go with that one. Much as I'm loath to, because there are little knots in it. Just here, for example. Let's just undo that. There, look, see, 2 verts, I knew it. So what I'll have to do quickly is just target weld that one to that one. And now if I do a chamfer, that's much better. See that? Much healthier looking chamfer. Now then, there's another knot. Yeah, look, you can see what the problem is there as well. So another target weld. Sometimes you see the distance is so small that you just can't see it. Okay, that's good. All the way around. And we're just really scooting around the model now, looking for anywhere that might have had a serious error. See that? That looks like a serious error. So let's just get in close here. that isn't an error, but that is not a great shape. So I think what I'll do here is make this S1 for selection set 1. And then what I can do is take this and this, control and backspace. Now if I go back here and go back to S1, reselect that one, you can see now that some of these aren't selected properly. In fact, because I've deleted some of the parts off the selection set, I'm probably going to have to go and reselect most of them, if not all. However, you know what? It'll work. So if I just turn the chamfer tool on, in fact, we can get a live update of how our chamfering is going, which I do find helpful. There we go. I do believe our elderly blind Pekingese is about to join in with the yipping, so that's good. There we go. And up here. To there. Bring it back. Excellent, and that's 0.06. I'll make that 0.09 just to increase it a little bit, and click tick. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the other end, and obviously it's going to be just as harrowing as the previous one was probably. So select by edge. And again, if I double click, you'll see that I can only select a couple of these, unfortunately. But you can see there's an error there already. So an easy way to deal with it, if there's two here really close together, is just use a weld. There we go. That fixed that. Go back to chamfer. There's another one. Again, they're very close together, so I'll just weld them. The reason that I'm spending so long basically kind of repairing what is ultimately a model that's been destroyed as per usual by 3ds Max's rather festive beveling tool is because making a shape that fits our model is so hard. We'd be tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it for ages. I mean, I've done tutorials before where it's like, let's just sit and tweak parts to get them to fit. And, you know, it's one way of doing things, but isn't it better doing things the slightly quicker way? I think it is. Let's see that. There we go. And just keep it going. I mean, it's nearly there. There we go. See? That's all we had to do, really. And then if I just click tick, zoom out, hit F4, you can see that we've got our edging now goes on there. And I know it's a minor thing. People might not ever see that, but that doesn't matter. Now, if I go to my top view and zoom, just select this piece, and what I'm going to do is just rotate it 90 degrees 3 times. I need 3 copies. Okay, and now I'm going to attach that, that, and that to it, like so, and then I'm going to end isolate. So now, as you can see, if we come in over here, we now have this rather handy dandy little kind of rim coming over here. Okay. Now, a good thing about this rim is that it means we can add a certain amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe stability. Yeah, stability, I think, works nicely to our model. So I'm going to attach these pieces together. You don't have to, but that's what I'm doing. Now this part here, which is the upper foot control, I'm going to attach these two as well. Pow. Like that, because They only need to be one solid piece, so that's what they're going to be. Now, why did I go to all that faffing kind of nonsensey whatever? Well, because I need this. Remember our piston we made earlier? You must do. It was in a previous lesson. So if I click and drag that, and then just do that to it, and there we go. Now what I can do is I can take our piston and pop it there and just zoom into it. Now at the minute it's outside the bounds of my model, but come back, silly thing. What I'm going to do is move it up to here. This is one of the reasons I like to work in the perspective viewport, you see. Move that to there. And then I should be able to take this and stick it underneath there on that part. Bring this out a little and maybe up a little. Okay, so yeah, that's looking like it's going to work okay. Would have helped if I'd actually done any form of measuring of the damn thing beforehand, but I didn't because I never do. Terrible thing to admit, I realise. There we go. Now what I can do is actually select both these and just raise them up a little bit. There we go. And obviously all the pistons on the inside now raise up a bit. There we are. Yeah, that's working quite nicely actually. I like that. Now if I double click on that and that, you can get all these parts. I'll just need to get them all, I think. There's a lot of them. Oh joy. So now I need that one, and that one, and that one. So let's see if I've got everything first. Yes, I have. Excellent. Now what I'm going to do is move this along to here and make a copy. And then just jiggle it a bit just to straighten it. And here as well. Okay, now actually before I do anything else I should probably move these all into the right place first. So I'm going to take this one and move that to there. Just get it right to the edge. There we go. And yes, it is, as my dear mum says, a fart on. However, once we've done this, we only need to do this bit once, and then we can go back to whatever it was we were doing beforehand. So, and okay, remember I said I was going to swear just a little bit? It looks really fucking nice when we do it this way. Okay, trust me on this. Straighten it up a bit. So, as long as you're prepared to believe me when I say like this is a good way to do it, I think we will be golden, as they say. I need to move this a little bit further down. There we go. See, I can adjust all these once I've got these in the right place. There we go.
Hello.
Right then. Had to pause for a moment there because there were visitors. People who remember the early 3D Palace video tutorials will remember that pausing is something that happens quite frequently. And thankfully, the program I use does allow me to pause. Right, and this one. Look okay. Now what I can do is go into this and start fixing things. So this top part here, for example, now it comes over to here. And then in. And just making sure it doesn't kind of intersect there. I mean, chances are it's going to intersect later on, but at the minute, basically I don't want it to, and especially when I'm doing things like, you know, work in progress shots that I'm sharing on Facebook and stuff. I just want the model to look as good as possible, really. So people aren't going to see that close because I'm obviously not going to get right up next to it, but that's not the point. I can actually bring this up a bit more. Yeah, that's probably quite a sensible thing to do. I think I'll bring them all up once I've done that. And then I can just do a quick, basically a polygon edit as much is what I'll be doing. Right, select that and that, and just move them both in. And under. There we go. Probably should have named those cylinders a bit better. After I was giving you the big lecture about the importance of naming conventions, you'd think I'd have remembered, wouldn't you? Never mind. And this one. And as we can see, the other one's already tucked under, so that's not really going to present too much of a problem for me. There we go. Right, now I'm going to select all of these, okay, of which there are a couple, obviously. Well, 8 to be precise. Okay, and then with all of those selected, I can just use the arrow key, like that, just to bring them all up a bit. Not so much they intersect there, but enough that they go to about there, you see. And then from these, what I can do is just go into my editable poly and select by border, and just bring it down until it goes through. See that? I'm going to do that for all 8. And I'm not going to click and drag, I'm going to shift and drag. Now if I shift and drag, can you see that? Suddenly we've got the jaggies. Don't like that. So I think I will just drag it down. There we go. It'll give us a much smoother look, certainly. Now that one. There we go. Now if you want to go through and rename all your parts, because that's what I should have done, then please do. And if you could please pretend that I've done the same, that would be marvellous. Okay, I'll not tell anyone. If you don't. Although the fact that I've made this a, you know, publicly available tutorial set would probably denote that I shouldn't have mentioned it even. Never mind. Adapt, adopt and improve, hey? Now this one. I'm just going to pause a moment just in case someone steals my dinner. You won't have noticed that I was gone even, but I'm back and I managed to rescue my dinner. Because when you have a house full of giant children, they do tend to eat your food. Now this one. I'm aware a lot of this is repetition, but you know what? That's how you're going to bloody well learn. I always said, not that you may have seen my older missiles, not missiles, that Bob Ross was always a great influence to me, and he was, because every single one, virtually, of his lessons was the same one. Draw a mountain, draw a tree, draw a mountain, draw a tree. And people were often left thinking, you know, well, okay, but you did this in the previous lesson. But this is why people who follow Bob Ross's course succeed and can draw mountains and can draw trees, because Bob Ross uses the method of repetition, or used, God bless him. So if you do it, it will work. Okay, now I'm going to link this to this piece here, and that means that these are now grounded on these parts. So now if I select these top bits, go around and select them all, a bit like a insane Pokemon collector. Bit for pistons. I think that's taking Kiki probably to the next level at that point. There we go. And now, if I have them all, I should, hopefully, be able to go there and not create a dependency loop. And now, yes, we are at a point where if I was to grab this and turn off angle snap, you can see everything is moving properly. That includes rotation, including the inner and outer pistons. So there's now 12 pistons controlling this. Sorry, no, there's more than 12, isn't there? There's 8 on the inside, there's 16 pistons controlling this. And the good thing is that we can have a full range of movement on this because of that. Right, so I think you'll find that that was some time well spent. Do you know why? Because we have finished the foot. That's this, and it is done. Okay, so that's the hardest part done, like I said. And we've got some bitchin' shapes here, quite frankly. So what we're going to do in the next part is we're going to start working our way up the leg. So we're going to go to probably around about here where the mouse is, and then from that we're going to go to the upper leg, which is ridiculously simple as a piece, quite frankly. And then from the upper leg we'll go at the hips, which again don't pose much of a threat now that you've done this, and so on and so forth. Okay, we're just going to work our way up. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I hope you like the sheer volume of parts that we have sitting here. And until the next part, when I get to say, how you doing, I'll see you later. Till then, bye!